think what I want to do is just kind of just read through it, and then after that we can, like, if you guys have any input of what you think your characters would act like and all of that. Just tell me when. Okay. All right, go ahead. What are you doing?
Nothing. What were you doing?
I had to pee. The tent brings back memories, huh?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what about the time in 8th grade when Jeremy was almost bragging about his CPR certification? So you fake fainted to get his attention? That one is so good.
No. You cannot tell that one. It's so embarrassing.
Well, you've turned out everyone I've come up with. How am I supposed to top the best man speech?
I have a line, what are you doing, right? But it's not in the script. Why don't
No.
Okay, because the old script had a line for me. Okay, sorry.
I know you didn't want a bachelorette party, but we still gotta have some booze.
Classy. Don't have too much, you need to finish your speech still.
No, come on. Tonight is about you.
And I want you to have a speech at my wedding, so...
Don't worry about it. I'll just add the story about your first date with Matt, and a few jokes about how you're too young.
No, I've heard that enough times.
Well, it sounds like you want to write it for me.
Seriously, this is important to me. I want a nice wedding.
Yes, I know you want a nice wedding. One with flowers and speeches and people and a dress and a cake.
I'm sorry, are you trying to say something to me?
Amanda, why are you marrying Matt?
Because I love him.
Stop hiding it from me, okay? You think I didn't see you playing with your ring?
Well, what the hell am I supposed to say, Sadie?
Something. Tell me you're not just doing this for pictures, that Matt means something to you, and he wasn't just convenient, that you want me there because I'm your friend, and not just a cute story of yours.
This is so typical of you. Can you ever just be happy for me?
That is not what this is about.
That's exactly what this is. I just wanted one of my oldest friends to give a short speech to bring back memories of the good old times, you know? But you choose to believe that everything I succeed at, I do to just rub it in your face. Like my wedding is just a scheme for attention. It is not my fault that you never had the grades or the guys or the looks, but I thought for one day you could put all that aside and be here for me.
I think I have the perfect story for my speech. It's from one of our first camping trips as kids. Remember that? We would look up at the stars and I would point out the constellations. The Big Dipper, Orion's Belt. And you would say, oh yeah, I see it. But I knew you didn't. So I would lead your finger to the first star and you'd get mad and defensive because you saw it already. No matter how many times I tried to help you, you never wanted to admit that you couldn't find any meaning in the stars.
Okay. So, almost 3 minutes, which is fine because if I end up adding parts that don't have dialogue. So what I was thinking was that the character of Amanda, she's more kind of uptight almost, and she's like she's stressing out over this basically. So kind of she's snapping at Sadie more often than not. Specifically with not so much with the first page, but more so with the second page.
Yeah. So like the classy, like that's a jab at her, kind of, yeah, not a joke. Okay.
Yeah. So the first page is more like when she suggests the first story kind of thing, and she's like, no, that's more of kind of like she's not as uptight about it. She's not as irritated with her friend, and then her friend obviously she takes out the booze, and that's when she's kind of like, okay, no, we're not doing this.
Okay.
With Sadie's character. You kind of already did when it was, well, it sounds like you want to write it for me. That's kind of when, to me, it's like they're kind of acting up until a certain point, and then that's kind of where Sadie stops acting. Like they're still not addressing whatever problem they may have had.
Okay, I
Talk
have
about changing.
questions that I wrote down. After this line where she says, "I'm sorry, are you trying to say something to me?" Do you want me to have a pause? Or do you want it to be like a snap in, like, Amanda, why are you marrying Matt?
I think I want a bit of a pause.
Okay.
Not like awkward pause, obviously, but just
Kinda
kind of
like,
like something where they make like direct eye contact kind of thing, and then you're just like, why are you marrying him?
And then one other thing, the last line before the big spiel at the last page.
Mhm.
You are unbelievable. Do you want me to say it under my breath? Or kind of like, you are unbelievable?
Kind of maybe in a normal tone, like unbelievable kind of thing. Like you're just kind of like you're shaking your head at her, just like I can't believe you said that to me.
Like in disbelief?
Yeah. And then your line, bottom of page 2, where it's like, yes, I know you want a nice one. It's just kind of like the whole, as if you've heard it 1,000 times. So you're like, yeah, I know you want this, 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 and this kind of thing. And you're kind of irritated with it.
Okay, so rather, because there's exclamation points, so it's not like, yes, I know.
Well, I suppose combine them maybe? So it's like,
first,
yes, I know.
and
But then after that, it's just kind of like,
okay.
you want this, and this, and this, and you're just like, yeah. And then, did you have any questions?
I have just like a general character question.
Yep.
So, where she goes because I love him. Amanda is I'm just wondering whether she's actually the person who Sadie has figured out, or whether Sadie's conception of Amanda is incorrect.
So if
Because
she's like whether or not she's saying it
Like,
genuine or
yeah, do I actually love him, or has she like kind of picked up on the fact that I am all for show?
I'm gonna be honest, I hadn't thought about that before
No.
now.
Because I think
We
that
could
would
we could
inform-
try we could try this almost kind of fake surprise. When I was reading through, I was thinking a lot about kind of because it just say taken by surprise. So kind of one of those, just kind of so you guys are obviously intense and everything. And it's one of those moments where you just kind of sit up and you're like, because I love him kind of thing. We could try it. When we actually do it, we could try it both ways.
Okay.
But again, it's just that you're playing the character, so your interpretation if you think that is
Okay.
specific.
Because that would inform the monologue at the end, like whether it's being delivered as like her being defensive or as her providing actual, trying to reason with her.
I think maybe the day should we try both ways?
I'm good with that,
It
yeah.
depends on. So yeah. So for setting and everything, unless you guys have any more questions.
Not right now.
Okay. So for setting, we're inside a tent. There's not going to be a lot of movement, really. It's basically, for the most part, we're going to have, the way I was picturing it is to a certain point. Like at certain lines, I have Amanda's character lying back and everything, just like on your sleeping bag, like you would in a tent kind of thing. You'll be doing the most movement, so you'll be walking in, walking over your sleeping bag, sitting down, kind of thing. You guys are casual conversation, more or less. That's generally it. There's not going to be a lot of movement, like I said. Already discussed kind of the relationship between the two. Wardrobe and everything. I was thinking pajamas. The way I see it is that this is at night kind of thing. So
Warm pajamas or like summer?
I'd say warm pajamas, just because it's like outside.
I think warm pajamas. I was gonna have you in a hoodie since you were coming from outside kind of thing.
Okay. So like hoodie and track pants?
Yeah.
Or like plaid
Yeah. Comfy clothes. How's that? Obviously we have the sleeping bags and pillows and all of that stuff. I also need to find a ring, but that's okay. No makeup. You guys are out in a tent. I don't know many people who wear a full face of makeup.
Did you want like basic makeup, like foundation and stuff, just for the or absolutely
I was going for absolutely no makeup. I think that's just
More
to kind of see like this is the characters there kind of thing, like because this is where they start off and they kind of they're hiding behind these masks kind of thing, like they're not addressing the problem, and then towards the end they kind of are. So it's, to me, I figured no makeup would kind of get that across better. We're shooting on the 8th from 3 to 5-ish. It may go a little later depending on how fast we can set up the tent. So we're not actually going to be starting exactly at 3. So if you guys came like quarter after already and all that, that'd be awesome.
And is it in the B?
It's in B122, yeah.
Okay, good. Because if it was in the other one, we'd have to get security to bring us.
Yeah. So B122. Yeah, we're gonna do a quick run through with the tent beforehand. Was there anything else?
Did you? Because my hand is gonna be filmed. Did you want like nails or like plain nails or nail polish for the whole?
You can do it even if you have like clear nail polish, maybe. Yeah. So it's gonna be because of the fact that it is in a tent, and usually when you're in a tent, you're just using like flashlights or those battery-powered lanterns. That's the only lighting that I'm gonna try to work with. If it's way too dark, then we may have to bring in some additional light so we can see your faces. But it's more so that, so there's gonna be a lot of like the heavy shadows and everything, so you don't have to worry too much about that.
Question, it may not have to do with the whole outcome of it, but like at what point in her engagement is this camping, or like why are they camping together?
I think these are all questions from Brianna because she's the one who wrote the script.
The script it says something about how she didn't want a bachelorette party or something like that.
So I think this is like
wedding.
yeah. So I imagine this is like I don't know how close you have a bachelor.
Well, you usually have it like
a week,
yeah. But she didn't say I don't want one.
Yeah, so they went
Before,
camping
so-
instead because I don't know. She wanted
She's
to go
making
camping.
the speech, so I guess it's kind of close. Good catch.
I don't imagine it's like months before it's actually going to
Yeah.
happen. Because, I mean, it might be a little weird. But unless they really want a prepared speech. Yeah, we'll probably go through. We're going to do. I want to do 3 setups.
Okay.
And then we'll probably do a couple takes of each. And so, yeah, so I was thinking of, so I wrote down a bunch of stuff here. So, more so as directions than anything. I don't know if you guys want to write this down or if it doesn't matter to you. On the first page, so you'd be sitting up in the tent. You're looking at your ring and everything. She walks in and it's kind of awkward and everything. And then when you say, yeah, you just kind of like lie back and everything. So you're still sitting, more or less throughout the entire thing. And I kind of wanted it to be, I wanted it to be 2-staged. I'd rather it be kind of like more of a natural kind of conversations. Like you guys really are the characters and everything. And it's just like they're pretending to be the friends that they were before things got weird, kind of thing.
So script-wise, is it okay if we add like ums or wells or whatever?
Yeah. Like I don't want it to. You don't have to go like absolutely word for word that's on here. Like I'm not gonna say that word was wrong. You didn't say that line right. That kind of thing. It's definitely more of a, as long as it follows the same kind of thing. Because I know there's some lines like the whole "I'm sorry, are you trying to say something to me?" It's kind of an odd thing
Like
there.
what I would say.
I was going to change it, but I wasn't entirely sure. I wanted to hear it.
Like what I would say as like me, not as a character, is what are you trying to say something? Or what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say, kind of thing. I wanted to hear it out loud because I figured when I was reading, it's just like, okay, it sounds odd in my head, but maybe if we actually say it out loud, it might sound better. But we can definitely change that if there are any lines that you guys are just kind of like, this doesn't sound like something that anyone would really say.
So all the way to the end we're sitting, right? Even as things get more and more heated.
Yeah. So there is so like I said, when you're like, because I love when that's when you're sitting up kind of thing. That's when it gets into more of a heated discussion. I'm gonna have you stand, kind of like as you're saying you're unbelievable kind of thing, because then you're fed up with talking to her, and you're kind of getting mind you that also says it in the script itself. And then we're going to film you throwing the ring. That should be interesting. Catch on camera.
For my last paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
do you want it to be like a jab or like here we go again kind of thing? Like, I think I have the perfect story for my speech. Or I think I have the perfect story for my speech. It's about that first camping trip. Remember that? Or like,
I was thinking
remember
more
that?
something that was kind of actually more like she's kind of upset that they don't have the same relationship that they used to, kind of thing. So she was reflecting on it, but she was just like, we've changed so much, and it's just like, it sucks. If that makes any sense. So it's more of
a saddened, aggressive.
Sort of, kind of. It's more just kind of like, I'm not an actor, so I don't know how to say it properly. You just kind of turn around and you're like, I think I have the perfect story for my speech. It's from our first camping trip as kids. Do you remember that? And it's just like, you're reminiscing more. Your anger's kind of not completely gone, but it's definitely, you got most of it out of your system.
Okay. So all in all, I'm not really like a beat. I'm more of like a genuine kind of character. Because I don't seem to yell in many of this, where
I think it's more, it is more genuine. It's just kind of like, okay, she wants me to make the speech at her wedding. Maybe whatever happened before wasn't as bad, and we can like fix this and everything. And then more so, she's, because of the wedding and all the stress and maybe other things, she's kind of snapping at you and everything. And she's like, okay, this is not working, and it just kind of blows up for a second, and you go back to kind of being just like, what happened? Okay. Why are we like this now? I think that's it, unless you guys want to do another run through or had any more questions.
Well, could we actually do another read through, but this time implementing all the direction that you gave us?
Yeah, sure.
And so that way, like when we go home and memorize, then we're ready for March 8th. And
Okay. Make sure this is still recording. The light's still on, so hopefully.
Yeah.
looks like it.
Yep. Okay, cool. Why does it say 21 seconds? Oh, it doesn't. 21 minutes.
No. I'm used to the time code in class where it's just like
Hours,
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah. really slow frames.
What are you doing?
Nothing. What were you doing?
I had to pee. The tent brings back memories, huh?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what about the time in 8th grade when Jeremy was always bragging about his CPR certification, so you fake fainted to get his attention? That one is so good.
Oh, no. You cannot tell that one. It's so embarrassing.
Well, you've turned down everyone I've come up with. How am I supposed to top the best man speech? You know, I know you didn't want a bachelorette party, but we still gotta have some booze.
Classy. Don't have too much. You still need to finish your speech.
No, come on. Tonight is about you.
And I want you to have a speech at my wedding, so...
Don't worry about it. I'll just add the story about your first date with Matt and a few jokes about how you're too young.
No, I've heard that enough times.
Well, it sounds like you want to write it for me.
Seriously, this is important to me. I want a nice wedding.
Yes, I know. You want a nice wedding with flowers and speeches and people and a dress and a cake.
Sorry, are you trying to say something to me?
Amanda, why are you marrying Matt?
Because I love him.
Stop hiding it from me, okay? You think I didn't see you playing with your ring?
Well, what the hell am I supposed to say, Sadie?
Something. Tell me you're not just doing this for pictures, that Matt means something to you, and he wasn't just convenient. That you want me there because I'm your friend, and not just a cute story of yours.
This is so typical of you. Can you ever just be happy for me?
This is not what it's about.
That's exactly what this is about. I just wanted one of my oldest friends to give a short speech to bring back memories of the good old times, you know? But you choose to believe that everything I succeed at, I do just to rub it in your face, like my wedding, is just a scheme for attention. It is not my fault that you never had the grades, or the guys, or the looks, but I thought for one day you could put that all aside and be here for me.
You're unbelievable. I think I have the perfect story for my speech. It's from one of our first camping trips as kids. Remember that? We would look at the stars and I would point out the constellations. The Big Dipper, Orion's Belt, and you'd say, oh yeah, I see it. But I knew you didn't. So I would lead your finger to the first star and you'd get mad and defensive because you saw it already. No matter how many times I tried to help you, you never wanted to admit that you couldn't find any meaning in the stars.
Awesome.
Did you have any notes that time?
There was something. Hold on. I think for your lines, the one is like, no, I've heard it enough times. Definitely, I think that's where she's just like, she's straight up stern, not so much more, not slightly annoyed. Kind of, like before she was kind of slightly annoyed, but this is one she's like, no. Because that line to me, it kind of sounded more like people gotten on her case with the fact that she's marrying super young. And so at that point, she's just kind of like, no, we're not talking about that.
Okay.
And then from then on, she's just kind of, that's when she's just getting more and more ticked off.
Okay.
But other than that, I think we are good.
Okay, would you mind if I changed it to I've heard that enough?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I feel good about this. Cool. I understand that.
Were there any other questions? Or, I mean, if you guys obviously have questions before the shoot, you guys guys have my number and everything. So.
Did you want hair in a specific way, like in a bun or like down or like?
Down maybe.
And like messy.
Kind of, not super messy, just because you haven't gone to bed yet, kind of thing. So
Okay.
just kind of
End of the
kind of
day.
like however you think about it, is more you're like lounging in your bed right before you go to sleep, kind of thing. That's more of the approach that I was talking about. So like you're in your pajamas. In your case, you're in a hoodie as well. However you usually would wear your hair in bed, I guess.
Morning.
What are you doing?
Nothing. What were you doing?
I just had to pee. Tent brings back memories, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking, what about the time in the 8th grade when Jeremy would always brag about his CPR certification? So you fake fainted to get his attention? That one's so good.
No, you can't tell that one. It's too embarrassing.
Well, you've turned down everyone I've come up with so far. How am I supposed to top the best man speech? I know you didn't want to have a bachelorette party, but we still gotta have some booze.
Classy. Just don't have too much, okay? You still need to write your speech.
No, come on, tonight's about you.
And I want to have a speech at my wedding. So,
Don't worry about it. I'll just add the time if you first date with Matt, and a few jokes about how you guys are too young.
no. I've heard that enough times.
Sounds like you want to write it for me.
Seriously, I want to have a nice wedding, you know?
Yes, I know. You want to have a nice wedding, one with speeches and people and flowers and a dress and a cake.
Is there something you're trying to say to me?
Amanda, why are you marrying Matt?
Because I love him.
Stop trying to hide it from me. You think I didn't see you playing with your ring?
This is so typical of you. Why can't you ever just be happy for me?
That is not what this is about.
That's exactly what this is about. All I wanted was for one of my oldest friends to give a speech and bring back memories from the old days. But you seem to think that everything I succeed at, I do just to rub it in your face. Like my wedding is some kind of scheme for attention. It is not my fault that you never had the grades, or the guys, or the looks. But I thought that for one day you could put that all aside and be here for me.
You're unbelievable. You know, I think I have the perfect story for my speech. It's one about one of our first camping trips as kids. Remember that? We look up at the stars and I point out all the different constellations. Big Dipper, Ryan's Belt. And you'd say, yeah, I see it. But I knew you didn't. So I'd lead your fingers at the first star. And you'd get all mad and defensive because you saw it already. No matter how many times I tried to help you, you just could never admit you could not find any meaning in the stars. I'm gonna step on you.
Okay, sorry.
Cut.
Is that how